Welcome back everybody to Level Up Mechanics. My name is Chris, and in today's video I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel in regards to my garage and upgrading its current condition to become a more usable workspace for both my automotive videos and for just general home use as well. I currently have a two-car garage that was built in the 1970s that's attached to my house. And this garage is very small, it's very cluttered, there are a lot of problems with it, and I want to basically fix everything that's wrong with this garage. Alright, so here we have the outside of the garage. It's pretty standard two-car garage, two doors, which kind of sucks. I wish it was just one big door because I don't like the pillar in the middle. It limits the amount of space that I have to pull a car into the garage. Someday I would love to have just one big car garage door, but until then, until I hit that lottery, I am stuck with what I've got. So I need to work with what I've got. So here's my garage with the doors open as it stands today. Obviously, Tacoma takes up the left side and all my crap takes up the right side. And there's just tons of crap. And a lot of home stuff's just used for storage, things that I don't usually use on a regular basis, other than the home garden equipment. But even that needs a proper place for storage. Here we have some shelving that was in place when we bought the house a few years ago. And while it's served its purpose for the time being, I need to definitely upgrade my shelving. Now, before I jump too far ahead, I did get this garage storage shelving unit from Home Depot. I did purchase it, so I'm going to put that together to help me start to store my items and stay organized. As far as the lawn equipment is concerned, everything's just kind of thrown into a corner and there's no rhyme or reason to it. I don't really have a good storage solution for all of my gardening equipment, like my lawnmower, edger, weed eater, blower, all that fun stuff. So I need to come up with a solution to continue to store my lawn tools in the garage, but also make the space usable for all of my automotive projects. I have a really old toolbox that I used to use at work. I just want to get rid of this toolbox. It is very old, and while it does serve its purpose, the toolbox sits on an incline, so if the toolbox is not locked, all of these drawers just fall out of place. And so I will be upgrading this toolbox. I actually have a new Husky toolbox coming hopefully tomorrow that I'll be replacing this old box with. Speaking of other tool upgrades, I do have a mechanics cart that I purchased from Harbor Freight. And so I need to put this cart together as well. This is going to serve as a detailing cart, where I'm going to keep all of my automotive detailing supplies and tools. I have this huge ass water heater that just sits on the back wall over here and is definitely in the way. I don't plan on replacing it anytime soon, but eventually I will. Also, you can tell some of the walls aren't finished. I guess because of the humidity in Texas, it's just sort of eaten away at the corners here between the wall and the roof. Since this garage isn't climate controlled, I'm sure the humidity is taking its toll, and that's why, like over here, the wall tape is coming apart. But I definitely want to finish these walls and paint in order to make this garage a little more presentable. Another thing that needs to be looked at, these electrical outlets are really old and need to be replaced. I have an outlet over here as well that's just as old and definitely needs to be replaced. I do need to replace the switches and sort of clean up everything as far as these covers are concerned. And then I have my vent ducting for my dryer coming out right here. I definitely need to upgrade this. It kind of sucks that my dryer vents into the garage because I'm sure that extra humidity does not help with the wall tape and is probably a very big contributing factor as to why this wall tape is starting to degrade and come apart and separate. The lighting for the garage is also kind of crappy. Like, I put these lights in that I purchased from Home Depot a while ago, and they help as far as lighting the front half of the garage is concerned, and they're okay. They're not great, but they're definitely better than a regular bulb. So they help with the front end of the garage, but if these garage doors are closed, then the back half of the garage is still pretty dark. And so trying to do YouTube videos in this garage when I'm working on the Civic or I'm working on the Tacoma, it kind of sucks because the garage lighting isn't all that great. I would love to give some like automotive hex lights, LED hex lights or whatever, put them on the ceiling so it looks nice and presentable in the future. I definitely need to find a lighting solution for this garage so that way when I do make future YouTube videos, everything is well lit, presentable, looks nice, it's functional, clean, and yeah. And all these wires up on the top of the ceiling also need to be rearranged, either hidden or whatever, so that looks presentable as well. Now that I'm done explaining some of the issues that I have with my garage and the things that I'm going to need to do to improve it, now's the time to clear everything out so we have a blank canvas to work with and we can start from scratch. Alright guys, it's day 2 of trying to clear out everything in my garage. My toolbox should be arriving today in just a little bit, but let's go ahead and take a look at where I'm at right now. I guess I'm really happy that I started this project yesterday because as I was clearing everything out towards the end of yesterday, I noticed something really bad that I'm going to have to address immediately, and that is my water heater. And so I noticed that there was a little small pool of water on the concrete below the water heater. So I inspected everything and this is what I found. If you come over here, you can see that the water heater is definitely leaking. You can see these little water rundown parts on the water heater. And then above right here, it looks like it's leaking actually out of these pipes that come out of the water heater on both sides. The pipes and everything themselves are perfectly fine. I see no water coming out of the connection fittings on either side. It's just actually leaking out from the top right here where these tubes come out on the water heater. So, hooray. I'm really happy that I found this before I ended up with a much bigger problem. So I will definitely need to replace this very soon. As you can see right here, I put a couple of absorbent mats on the back side just to see, and it's definitely leaking. It's probably been leaking for a little while, and the stand that it sits on is all made out of wood, which I think is dumb. If you're gonna have a water heater and the water heater has a leak, why would you make a stand out of wood? And this is really cheap. So I need to find a solution in regards to making a stand that won't absorb water should the next water heater fail, something that won't collapse on itself if I don't notice the leak immediately. I still need to put my tool cart together and my garage shelving together. I really wanted to show and document what this garage looked like before I began doing all of my repairs and upgrades. So that way when I'm finally done, I can show a before and after. So I guess I'm just gonna wait on Home Depot to show up with the toolbox. They're about 3 stops away. Alright, here's the toolbox that I ordered from Home Depot. This thing is huge. I did not realize how big it was gonna actually be, but the bigger the better. Freaking awesome. Now it's time to start tearing crap apart and putting stuff together. I gotta put this toolbox together. It comes in 3 pieces. I've gotta put this tool cart together, which will be my detailing cart. I gotta finish organizing all of this stuff over here and putting this shelf together as well. So I'm just gonna get to it. All right, so here's a little update on the garage situation. I took a little bit of a break. It was a good thing that I started this project though, because when I started to do all of my upgrades and everything to the garage, I ended up finding out that my water heater was leaking from the top over here. So that's kind of what set me back on this project. The water heater, I had to replace it. It was close to $1,000. Right now I have everything set over to the other side of the garage so I can work over on this wall over here. And I've just put up my first coat of primer onto the wall. The walls are so old and have been exposed to humidity for so long that I'm thinking part of the drywall is coming off, and so I get these patches right here of just like loose material when I tried to paint. So I have to do a lot of scraping to scrape off any loose material that I have on the ceilings and on the walls, which is quite a bit annoying. It's very time consuming. I really don't know how to professionally fix that issue, but what I am doing is I'm just scraping off all of the loose material on the walls and then repainting and applying multiple coats. I hope that fixes it. I have a feeling down the road I might be wrong and the material will just keep coming off, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. This is how the ceiling looks currently, unfinished, painted, and this is the first coat of primer. Obviously, it's very splotchy and there's loose material, but it is what it is. Once I get these walls and this ceiling painted, I am going to add some Hexagon LED lights to help illuminate the garage better. I have 2 sets that I purchased off Amazon, so I'm really excited to get the painting portion done so then I can start adding all my lighting to the garage. All right, so this is the current update on the progress I made so far on my garage. All the walls are finally painted. They're a nice bright white paint. The garage door wall could probably use a second coat of paint just to get everything nice and clean, but all of the rest of the walls are in really good condition. I've deleted that dryer vent hose and added a little plate cover for the dryer vent to vent. This is my current lighting situation with the LED lights up on the roof, as well as the garage motor lighting is concerned. So the lighting is an improvement from where I first began, even though it's still kind of dark and dingy once you get closer and closer to the garage doors. So right here, I have a set of Hyper-Lite Hexagon lights. This is the first set of the Hexagon grid lights that I'll be installing on the roof. Hopefully once I get these lights installed up on the roof, it will be much brighter in here and I'll be able to pretty much see whatever I want to see. So as far as these Hexagon lights are concerned, I did purchase them on Amazon. So if you are interested in these lights, make sure to check the description section below and I'll have an affiliate link for these lights. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out the spacing for the roof where these lights will go on and trying to figure out how to attach these to the roof. So that's going to be a little bit of a project because I have to figure out how to get these Hexagon lights to clear everything that's currently on the roof. So like the garage door motor and all of the brackets for the rails for the garage doors. I don't have everything connected. I'm just sort of laying out the pieces just to get an idea as far as how I'm going to configure it on the roof. But I have tested a certain portion of the lights and I'll go ahead and do that right now. And we're gonna go ahead and plug it in and see what the connected portions look like. All right, it is plugged in. As you can see, I have the first couple Hexagons all connected and it is pretty bright just with those two Hexagons. So having 11 of them might be really great. And then having two whole sets of them, one for each side, might be a little bit of overkill, but I figured if I want to see what I'm doing in the garage, the more light I have, the better. So it may be a bit of overkill, but I'm just going to do it anyway and see how it looks. So this is my garage as it stands right now. Obviously with the flooring, that's going to be a project for another day. But as you can see, I have my Hyper-Lite Hex lights up on the roof. They're two sets of an 11 grid as far as my lighting solution is concerned for the garage. But here we have my main wall right here, and it's pretty much empty because eventually I'm going to put some artwork up on this wall. And in addition, I'm going to put artwork up over on this wall and below the tire rack as well. Now this is a wall-mounted tire rack that I also purchased off of Amazon. It's supposed to hold or support up to 400 pounds of weight. And right now I'm very happy with this. I think it's from a company called SafeRacks. It keeps my tires up and out of the way. So it's a perfect solution if you have extra tires or an extra set of rims and tires that you want to get out of the way in your garage. And then there's my new water heater. And then over here, I have my storage solution with my bins and my shelving, all of which I purchased from Home Depot. And then I also have my jack stands, my various jack stands, and the wall mount for the jack stands, also found on Amazon. This is also a great solution to get those jack stands out of the way and organized so they're not on the floor and taking up precious floor space. And then we have my toolbox. The toolbox, I purchased that from Home Depot. I really like the setup with this toolbox. I also purchased a roll-around cart from Harbor Freight when it was on sale. This just helped to organize and store all of my detailing items. But over with the toolbox, this thing is really good. I'm very happy with this setup. As you can see, I have everything currently situated. All of the hooks and everything that I used, I found those off of Amazon. This is pretty much the main setup as far as the toolbox is concerned. And then over here, we have a locker with multiple shelving to store all of my chemicals and whatnot. So there's a lot of space in this locker to use however you see fit. The shelving is adjustable and or removable depending on your needs. But this is the locker section. And then obviously you can see the top section right here of my toolbox. And then we get into the drawers, and with the drawers, I have, you know, just my regular tools, and then also my equipment that I use for creating YouTube videos. So it just gives me an opportunity to keep everything all in one place and more or less organized. I know it could probably be laid out a little bit better, but this works for me. And then I just have everything else organized as much as it works for my setup. This is another drawer with wrenches, ratchets, and other miscellaneous tools. Right here, I have sort of a catch-all of miscellaneous tools. This section right here, I purchased all of these organizer bins on Amazon just to keep all of my miscellaneous hardware organized. And then right here is sort of all my electrical tools and equipment and miscellaneous electrical items. And then also some sanding items as well. This big drawer is really deep. I kind of use this as a catch-all drawer for miscellaneous big items, but this drawer is really deep and really nice to have for whatever situation you need it for. And then in the smaller drawers over here, this is my stack of miscellaneous instructions. But yeah, spoiler alert, this is what's coming in the future. But this is where I catch miscellaneous items, some of my drill bits, some other tools, a whole bunch of masking tape. Now I have some extra small bins right here that were included in the other section. I use these to just continue organizing all of my hardware and electrical related items somewhat. And then I have a lot of electrical miscellaneous items up there. And this is another kind of catch-all drawer that I use to hold miscellaneous tools and equipment. And my final drawer right here is definitely a catch-all drawer for some of the bigger items that I just am trying to keep in one place. But yeah, that is my toolbox breakdown for the most part. Not super exciting, but it helps me keep everything organized. And I really like the ability to have everything organized as opposed to what my garage looked like before I started this whole project. And then finally over here, again, we have the detailing cart. And then I have my PROSLAT wall. It's 8 feet long by 4 feet tall. And I did purchase this off of Amazon as well. And this PROSLAT wall just allows me to organize all of my gardening equipment. So all of my tools and everything are up on the wall, out of the way, not piled in a corner somewhere. I really like the PROSLAT wall. I did get the Pro version, so it can hold extra weight. I forget what the Pro version's called, but I got the more expensive option just so it can hold additional weight. Each one of these slats on this PROSLAT wall has like 8 screws, 1 screw in each stud behind the wall. So it's really sturdy, holds a lot of weight, keeps everything organized, and I'm really happy with the layout of my gardening tools. All of the hooks and stuff, some of them are included when you purchase the PROSLAT wall, but I did buy some additional hooks and hardware to accommodate for all of the different tools that I currently use for my gardening equipment. And here's one last look of the HYPERLITE grid Hexagon lights that I installed on the roof. Again, the videos don't do it justice. These things are extremely bright. Even just one 11 grid section is pretty much gonna light up the whole garage. So it's kind of a little bit of overkill, but I really like how bright these lights are and how clean they make everything look. Eventually I'm gonna put some artwork on this blank wall right here. It's not gonna be your typical garage artwork. it's something I'm excited and looking forward to. And then again, over here, I'll have some more artwork to fill in this empty section right here.